Today's show brought to you by redcon1.com. That's right. Click the link at the bottom of the podcast app in which you are listening to this on. Check them out. Use promo code T20 Quartermiss. That's right. redcon1.com.
There's nothing special about being American. None of you can define for me what an American is.
I am the nation. I was born on July 4th, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run in my veins because I offered freedom to the oppressed. I am many things and many people. I am the nation. I am 200 million living souls and the ghost of millions who have lived and died for me. I am Nathan Hale and Paul Revere. I stood at Lexington and fired the shot heard round the world. I'm Washington, Jefferson, Patrick Henry. I'm John Paul Jones, the Green Mountain Boys, Davy Crockett. I'm Lee.
Coming to you from the D-Tom Studios in the free state of Florida, sponsored by Maker's Mark Bourbon, this is Don't Tread on America. All right, guys, I'm a little pissed off today, so this is going to be a fiery show, so please get prepared. I've poured me a nice, tall glass of whiskey here, and it's going to be fiery. I just popped an Alp. I'm ready to rock and roll. So a couple things, guys, as I want to get to this show today. We got a good one for you. So please make sure, whatever podcast app you're listening to this on, that you are sharing this with your friends. You're subscribed to the show. If you stumbled upon this because you think this is going to be a great topic, which it is, share this with your friends, guys. If you're on Apple or Spotify, please give me a rating, maybe a review. Do these things, help the show out. And if you want some cool-ass show merch, go to the D-Tom store. I'm about to do a new t-shirt. I just put some new logos up on the Twitter X machine, courtesy of, oh my God, I totally meant to remember this. Graphics, God dog, I don't want to say it wrong. Graphics Italy. Elodie, yeah, that's it. Look her up on Twitter. But anyway, I posted a couple of graphics from her. Check them out. Tell me what you think. I'm making a t-shirt out of one of them, maybe both of them. I don't know. We'll see. So follow the show on Twitter at DonQ1776 and all the other social media platforms if you want to check me out there. Don't Tread on America. So, guys, we're getting into it. I'm not even going to fuck around. Let's get to business. Are you ready? I hope you are. Because it's that time. Cranking it up. Ripping the knob off. A little bit of damn Yankees for us to get this thing growing. I'm fired up, guys. I'm telling you, I'm pissed. I am pissed. And you saw the title. That's what brought you to the show. You know why. It's not going to be the show you think. So please, be prepared to be upset. Okay? In the meantime, a little bit of damn Yankees. Don't Tread on Me, courtesy of Ted Nugent. You ready? Come on. Let's rock. Might spoil your victory. Come on, sing it around. Come on. Don't you dare. Don't you tread on America. Don't you tread on America. Guys, make sure you follow the show on Rumble at Don't Tread on America TV, right? Don't you tread on America. All right. Today, I've got a show that should really piss you guys off. And if you're not already pissed off, you better be. Welcome to Don't Tread on America, the podcast where we dive deep into the mysteries, the cover-ups, and conspiracies that shape our world. Of course, I am your host, Don Q, and today I'm tackling one of the most controversial and perplexing stories of our time, the Jeffery Epstein saga. Specifically, I'm going to dive into the newly released news that happened just the other day, including a state, a Department of Justice memo, surveillance video, and the swirling conspiracy theories that refuse to die. So buckle up, guys, because this is going to be a long one. As a matter of fact, I'm probably breaking this up into two shows. I'm going to break this down for you at the beginning, and I'm going to show you the backside probably on Friday. But anyway, just stick with me, because I don't know how long we're going to go. Could be 3 hours, could be 6 hours. It's not going to be that long, so I got to go to bed. So it'll be long, but not that long. Anyway, we're unpacking the Epstein case, the latest revelations, and what does it all mean, Basil? What does it all mean? But before I begin here, we'll cover some sensitive topics, including sexual abuse, trafficking, and suicide is advised. Also, I'm going to have 3 commercial breaks, so, we can pay for things around here, but I promise to keep this content gripping. Obviously, the show is not rated for everybody. I will be doing some cursing. For those of you that are new to the show, if you've never heard this show before, I do curse. It's explicit content. It's on the label, so you've been warned. Okay? If you don't want your kids to hear what I'm about to say, maybe listen to it another day. Or put some earbuds in. Because it's going to be a good one, guys. I'm telling you, I'm so pissed off at what happened that I can't, we'll get to it here. So, let me let this music play for a minute here, and then we'll get to it, okay? Please, hang on. All right, guys, let's get this show started here. For those of y'all who've been living under a rock, let me set the stage for you. Jeffrey Epstein, born in he was a financier, a man of immense wealth and connections, who was arrested in 2019 on federal Pay attention to everything I behind what we heard the other day. He was arrested in 2019 on federal sex trafficking charges. He was found dead in his Manhattan jail cell in August 2019, officially ruled a suicide. But from the moment his death was announced, conspiracy theories exploded. Why? Because Epstein wasn't just a rich guy. He was a man who rubbed shoulders with presidents, princes, and billionaires. His private island, St. James, or Little St. James, was allegedly a hub for unspeakable crimes. It's rubbing on my leg down there. It's tripping me out. Unspeakable crimes involving minors, and many believe he held secrets that could topple the global elite. So, let's rewind a little bit. Epstein's story began decades ago, in the 1980s and 90s. He built a mysterious fortune. Nobody's quite sure how. He claimed to have managed money for billionaires, yet few clients were ever named. By the 2000s, he was a fixture in high society, hosting Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and Prince Andrew, among countless others, at his properties. His jet, dubbed the Lolita Express, allegedly ferried commercials that I don't want to hear. So, god damn it, I'm not in the mood for this shit. I'll go musicless. I don't even give a damn. Allegedly ferried powerful men to his island. In 2005, he was arrested in Florida for soliciting a minor, but a controversial plea deal in 2008 let him serve just 13 months with work release. Critics called it a sweetheart deal orchestrated by then-prosecutor Alec Acosta, who later said that he was told Epstein belonged to intelligence. So, arrested in 2019 for federal sex trafficking, earlier arrested, released because he, quote-unquote, belonged to intelligence. Fast forward to 2019, Epstein's rearrested. This time on the federal charges, the stakes are higher. Decades in prison, potentially. Then, on August 10th, he's found dead. The official story is that he hanged himself, but the circumstances are bizarre. The guards didn't check on him. The cameras malfunction, or so we were told, because now all of a sudden there's video evidence, right? His cellmate was gone, and the hyoid bone in his neck was broken, which most forensic experts, which one of the most popular, most renowned ones in the country, named, my wife's making too much noise out there. I can hear it. I hope you guys can't. Was broken, and some experts say that that's rare, very rare, in suicides. The public skepticism was immediate. Epstein didn't kill himself became a meme, a rallying cry, a cultural phenomenon. And what I'm going to talk about on top of that is not only was it something that we talked about on this show, who am I? Some of your most popular podcasts from back then till today quoted these same things, including Donald Trump, including Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi. These people all said the same thing. So why does this matter now? Because just the other day, the Trump administration's DOJ and FBI released a memo and surveillance video, which we were told didn't exist, aiming to debunk conspiracy theories. The memo says Epstein died by suicide. There's no client list and no evidence he blackmailed anyone. They released 10 hours of video showing the area outside his cell, claiming it proves no one entered. But instead of closing the case, this release has reignited the firestorm. Conservative influencers, like yours truly, are furious. Elon Musk is tweeting cryptic memes, and the public, well, let's just say trust in institutions is at an all-time low. So what is the truth? Was Epstein a lone predator? Or was he part of a larger network? Did he kill himself? Or was he silenced? And why does this new release feel like a slap in the face to those demanding transparency? Let's break it down. First, let's talk about the memo. It's a 2-page document, first reported by Axios, claiming a new exhaustive review of Epstein's files found no client list, no blackmail evidence, and no reason to investigate third parties. The DOJ also says the video, raw and enhanced, shows no one entered Epstein's cell the night he died, backing the suicide ruling. Sounds definitive, right? But here's the problem. The memo contradicts earlier promises from Attorney General Pam Bondi in February of 2025 when Bondi told Fox News she had the clients list on her desk.
A lot of people are wondering, because you said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk, is when can we see them and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah, what you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is Of
course it is.
a lot of flight logs, a lot of names,
Shit.
a lot of information, but it's pretty sick what that man did,
Okay, well, we'll
along
look
with
for
his
that.
co-defendant.
Absolutely, and he had help. That's for
He
sure.
sure did.
A lot of people.
So it's one of those days, guys. I'm telling you right now. I'm pissed off, and then my internet's going to start fucking around with me. Should I be like some of these shows that say, I'm talking about controversial things, and now my internet's fucking up? Maybe. I don't know. Anyway. She even handed out binders labeled The Epstein Files Phase 1 to pro-Trump influencers at the White House. Those binders, mostly old news already public. No bombshells, no list. This flip-flop has conservatives fuming. Fox News host Will Cain said, "There's no client list?" Well, there are clients, right? Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones went further, tweeting, Next the DOJ will say Epstein never existed. Even Elon Musk, who's been feuding with Trump, shared a meme mocking Bondi, implying she's covering something up. The backlash is intense because many Trump supporters believe his administration would expose the truth. Instead, they got a memo saying nothing to see here. But let's pause for a second here. Why are people so skeptical? It's not just about Epstein's death, it's about his life. His connections were staggering. Flight logs show Bill Clinton took 26 trips on the Lolita Express. Prince Andrew settled a lawsuit with one of Epstein's accusers. Let's say her name, guys, Virginia Giuffre. I did a show on that because she just committed suicide a few months ago. This woman who was a victim of Prince Andrew, who also was a victim of Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. It's proven. It was documented in court. She won a lawsuit against Prince Andrews for millions of dollars. Did a show about 2-3 months ago. Shortly after she committed suicide, allegedly. But there's no client list. I would say there's at least one client right there. There's at least one with one victim. At least. But there's no client list. There's no victims. And no one will say this woman's name? Are you fucking kidding me? Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's partner, or Madam, as she was commonly referred to, was convicted in 2022 of trafficking minors for him. Yet, despite all this, no major figures have been charged as co-conspirators. Why? Victims like Virginia Giuffre have named names, alleging powerful men were involved. But those names, often redacted in court documents, never led to arrest. Tell me this doesn't feel like a cover-up. And then there's the intelligence angle. Some claim Epstein was a Mossad or CIA asset, running a blackmail operation to control elites. Former CIA officer Robert David Steele and others have pushed this theory. Though evidence is thin, posts on Twitter even allege Epstein met with CIA Director William Burns and Obama's lawyer Catherine Rumler. True or not, these claims fuel the narrative that Epstein was too valuable to live or to expose. Not to mention the fact that the beloved Dan Bongino, who in my opinion has fallen from grace. I'm done with anything he's got to say. I'm sorry if that pisses a lot of y'all off, and I feel like it hasn't, because I went to his channel to look at what Vince has been doing lately, and his views and his listens are way down from when Bongino was there. I don't know if it's because Vince isn't as good. I don't know if it has anything to do with all this bullshit. But in my opinion, if Dan Bongino were to quit the FBI today and go back to podcasting, I wouldn't listen to his show. I wouldn't. He's full of shit. I did a show 2 months ago, and the show title was Who's Controlling Alternative Media? And I referred to podcasters, popular podcasters, who float the narrative on both sides. I'm not just referring to conservative podcasts, but in this case I am. Okay? And I'll give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Here's Ben Shapiro, right? You know who he is, podcaster extraordinaire. And I'm not hating on any of these guys because they get millions of listeners and millions of views. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying that anyone who listens to these assholes, you've been co-opted by government officials, in my opinion. This is the same person who 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago was yelling about Epstein list, client list, arrest this person and arrest that person, only to come out yesterday and say this.
That amounts to an actual conclusion to an investigation. They're going to be very upset today because it turns out that the DOJ and the FBI have concluded that Epstein didn't have a client list and died by suicide, according to a memo detailing the findings obtained by Axios. Now, again, does this put to bed like all inquiries? Of course not. People can continue to speculate as much as they want. And I think there's still open questions here regarding how did Epstein make his money? Right, that's a very serious open question. And the speculation for a long time was he made his money from blackmail. But the DOJ and the FBI, again, run by people like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, are telling you, I'm not telling you, they're telling you, people who are members of the Trump administration, people you elected and put into these positions to get you the truth on this matter, are telling you that he didn't, in fact, he was not murdered, he did not keep a client list, and he did not blackmail powerful figures. Okay, right, that is the they are saying, not I, they are saying this. If you're willing to throw that over and claim they're lying, then I'd like to see you present your evidence that they are in fact lying. Because I know Dan. I don't think that Dan Bongino is lying to me. I know Kash Patel a little bit. I don't think Kash Patel is lying to me. I don't think these people are lying to me. Which means that if somebody else continues to claim that they're lying, they ought to provide their evidence at this point. And now is the point at which the facts on the ground have changed. And so either you ought to shift your opinion based on the facts that have now emerged, or you ought to acknowledge that this was never a fact-based inquiry in the first place.
This is why. If you listen to podcasts and any of these people that you've listened to, and they consistently tell you that, oh, we're this and we're that, and listen to me, I'm the truth, I'm this, they're lying to you. Because Ben Shapiro, millionaire. Dan Bongino, millionaire. What other podcasts, what other news hosts that are millionaires who, not that long ago, were claiming we're finally going to get down to the truth. And then as soon as this comes out, they don't question a motherfucking thing. They don't question a motherfucking thing. Why? Here's Pam Bondi again. What does she got to say here?
No, the FBI, they're reviewing, there are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going through that. I haven't seen that statement, but I'll call him later and find out.
She's going to be exposed. And tell you what, right now, I, on this show, was happy when she was put into place. I figured, we're getting down to business. When Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, we're getting down to business. And you want to talk about a major letdown. These are the same individuals who a year ago, 2, 3, 4, I played stuff about Dan Bongino from his show on this show about Rumler and all these other people and the stuff that we're going to get down to the bottom of it. And then when he became the deputy director, we're going to get down to the bottom of it. We haven't gotten to the bottom of shit other than, nothing to see here. But we're going to head to our first break right now. And here's the question. Did what, Don? Is the DOJ memo a genuine attempt to close a messy case, or is it damage control? We'll dig deeper into surveillance video, the missing minute, and the public's reaction next. All right, guys, NordVPN. Let's talk about them for a minute. NordVPN encrypts your connection, hides your IP, and unlocks the internet with over 7,900 ultra-fast servers in 126 countries. Game, stream, and browse safely anywhere, anytime. Right now, save up to 76% on a 2-year plan and get 3 months free with promo code DTOM. That's premium protection for just $3.39 a month. Don't wait. Secure your digital life today. Visit NordVPN.com and use promo code DTOM. Offer valid through December 31st, 2025. All right, guys. Told you I'm fired up today. I told you. Welcome back to Don't Tread on Marika. We're diving into the heart of the Epstein conspiracy, focusing on the DOJ's July release, a memo and 10 hours of surveillance footage meant to prove Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in 2019. But instead of calming the storm, it's poured gasoline on the fire. Let's unpack why. The footage is the centerpiece of this release. The DOJ and FBI say it shows the common area outside Epstein's cell in the Metropolitan Correctional Center on the night of August 9th, 2019. They released 2 versions, raw and enhanced, with the latter adjusted for contrast, color, and sharpness. The claim: no one entered or exited Epstein's cell before he was found dead. This backs the medical examiner's ruling of suicide by hanging. Case closed. But hold on, there's a problem. There's a 1-minute gap in the footage, and ironically enough, I think CNN let this one out.
I have to say, I'm with the people that still have questions
CNN.
about this. I kind of
It's
don't
CNN,
buy
guys.
the nothing to see here. And I don't know that the Justice Department helped their case. They released this video. Let's show it. It shows no one entered the area surrounding Epstein's cell in the hours before he died. But there's something significant about this videotape. What is it?
Well, here's one thing that some people on the internet are picking up on, which is that there is about a minute missing between 11:58 p.m. 58 seconds and 12 a.m. the night that Epstein was apparently killed or died.
Alex,
So, here's the thing. What happened? Here's the thing. If CNN's saying this, what are we missing? And that's what I'd like to know. They released the video from 10 hours before, but what about 10 hours after? So 1 minute doesn't sound like much, but in this case, but in a case this explosive, it's a red flag. Conspiracy theorists are all over it, asking what happened to that minute. Was the footage tampered with? Why wasn't the entire night seamless? The DOJ hasn't addressed this gap, which only deepens suspicion. And let's talk about the footage itself. It's grainy. Even the enhanced version, it covers the area outside the cell, not inside. So we don't see Epstein's final movements. We don't see the act of suicide or anything else. This limitation frustrates me and other skeptics out there. If the goal was transparency, why not release more? Former Attorney General William Barr said in 2019 he reviewed the footage showing no one entered Epstein's cell area. Fine, but why are we still debating this 6 years later? I don't know what happened to that, but we'll go back to it here. I don't know what this is. It's something. I think this was the video I just played. I swear to God. Today is not the day, Lord. Let the internet work. We're trying to get some truth out. Let's do this. Yeah, it was the video I already played, of course. I wasted all that time for nothing. God damn it. The public's reaction has been fierce, especially among conservatives, many expecting Trump's DOJ, led by Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino, to deliver the truth. Patel and Bongino, both vocal conspiracy theorists before their appointments, once questioned Epstein's suicide. Now, they're backing the official narrative. This this U-turn has sparked betrayal. On the Twitter X machine, users like CatTurd, with millions of followers, are calling it a cover-up, saying, so Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for trafficking nobody? Others like Sparta Justice allege Epstein was a CIA or Mossad asset, alive and hidden in Israel. These claims are unproven, but they reflect the distrust. And on that CatTurd thing, also, here I'm going to give you an update on that, because that was yesterday, or day before yesterday, when all this came out, where he had said that. Let me go to his page real quick. If this thing would scroll down. But God is really hating me today for some reason. I don't know what the fuck the problem is. Jesus Christ in heaven. Let's see. Cat. Alright, I don't need this. I need to see my fucking thing. Jesus Christ. Turd. I swear to God. It's almost like I hate to be that guy and just think that my internet's shit, but I have full fucking service. Why isn't Twitter uploading for me? It's got to be something. Either Twitter is being bombarded by stuff, or something else is going on here. But he's on here saying, where he said that the other day, now he's going with the narrative. Once again, I have to wonder if these people are being paid off. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just killing me. Let me just get back to what I fucking wrote. God damn it. Sorry, guys, but I'm just so pissed off right now. It's like I can't even fucking focus. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, we already did that. Okay. So, the public's reaction has been fierce, especially among conservatives. I already read that. God damn it, guys. I'm sorry. God damn it, motherfucking shit. I told you there's going to be some cussing in this, because I knew this fucking shit was going to be fucking pissing me the goddamn fuck off. Jesus Christ. Where are you at? God damn it. I'm trying to make sure I don't reread shit. Okay, so now they're backing on official note, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so Elon Musk's role can't be ignored. In June of 25, during a public spat with Trump, Musk tweeted that Trump is in the Epstein files. That's why they have been released. He later deleted it, admitting he went too far. But the damage was done. Musk's clown meme mocking Bondi went viral, amplifying the narrative that the DOJ is hiding something. Whether Musk believes it or was just trolling, his influence keeps the conspiracy alive. The quote-unquote client list is another sore point. For years, people believed Epstein kept the list of powerful men he blackmailed or trafficked girls to. Bondi's February claim that it was on her desk fueled hope. Now the memo says no such lists exist. This contradicts not just Bondi, but common sense for some. Epstein was meticulous. His contact book, released in February, named influential people. Though it wasn't incriminating victims, testimonies mentioned high-profile figures. So how can there be no list? Was it destroyed? Or is the DOJ redefining client list to mean a literal document, ignoring the broader evidence? Let me see what this video is here. I have to say, I'm sure it'll take 20 minutes to upload. I guess in the meantime, we can talk about other things. Yeah, this is I already played this one too. See, I get ahead of myself when I'm excited. So let's consider the suicide itself. The official report cites a perfect storm of screw-ups. Guards asleep, cameras down, no cellmate. But skeptics like @Senator Babbitt on X point out the improbability. A high-profile inmate under suicide watch after an earlier attempt left unchecked. The broken hyoid bone adds fuel. Some pathologists say it's more common in strangulations. The DOJ's footage doesn't address these details. It just says, trust us. So, what about alternatives? Murder theories range from a hit by elites to state-sponsored operations. Some claim Epstein's connection to intelligence made him a target. Others say he's still alive, spirited away to protect secrets. These are speculative, obviously, but the DOJ's lack of transparency doesn't help. If they'd release all the files unredacted, maybe the theories would fade. Instead, they're stonewalling Freedom of Information Act's FOIA request per Business Insider. The backlash isn't just online. Conservative pundit Benny Johnson, a popular podcast, called the memo a cover-up on his YouTube show. Mike Benz, a former Trump official, hinted at a quote-unquote deep state conspiracy on Real America's Voice. Even Trump's base feels let down. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt defended the memo, saying the DOJ did an exhaustive investigation. But when asked about disappointed supporters, she pivoted to holding criminals accountable. It's a dodge the people noticed. As we head to our second commercial break, guys, think about this. Let me get that music going there. Then we can think about it. Why does the DOJ's attempt to close the case feel so hollow? Is it incompetence or something darker? We'll explore the broader implications and what's still hiding next. We'll be back after this break of whiskey. All right, guys, you can tell I'm fired up today. Why do you think that is? Well, before every show, I pop one of these bad boys right here. If you're not watching this on Rumble and Don't Turn on America TV, I'm holding a can of Alp. I'm down to my last one, but I've got more. I'm good. Anyway, if you're looking for a bold, smoke-free way to enjoy nicotine, meet Alp nicotine pouches. Clean, convenient, and packed with flavor. Whether you're hitting the trails, chilling with friends, or powering through your day, or doing an awesome conspiracy show podcast, Alp delivers the perfect buzz without the hassle. With a variety of strengths and crisp, refreshing flavors, Alp's got you covered. No smoke, no spit, just pure satisfaction. And right now, you can score 10% off your first purchase at alppouch.com/DTOM. Head to outpass.com/DTOM and elevate your nicotine game today. Out nicotine pouches. Freedom in every pouch. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Please use responsibly. I'm just cutting the music. We're getting into it. Fuck it. Fuck it. We'll do it live. I already did a commercial, guys. You can't do another one. I already did one. I already did a commercial. Can't do another one. I already did one. All right, get to it. Come on. Blah 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 blah. I gotta talk like this so you don't hear it. Anyway, couldn't skip it, so I had to let it go. Anyway. All right, we're back, guys. Peeling back the layers of the Epstein conspiracy and the DOJ's July release. So far, we've covered the memo, the surveillance video, and the public's outrage. Now, let's zoom in, or zoom out. What does this mean for trust in institutions, and what's still being hidden? Epstein case isn't just about one man. It's about power, privilege, and accountability. Or the lack thereof. His victims, dozens, hundreds of young women, and I say hundreds because that's what Pam Bondi said, were failed by law enforcement for decades. Complaints about Epstein date back to the 1990s, yet the FBI did little per legal filings reported by Business Insider. Why? Was it bureaucratic inertia, or were powerful forces behind protecting them? In 2008, the plea deal orchestrated by Acosta smells like interference from above. Acosta's claim that Epstein was, quote-unquote, intelligence is a bombshell nobody's diffused. The DOJ's memo claims no evidence of blackmail or a client list. But let's think critically. Epstein's properties were wired with cameras. Victims testified about surveillance. Was it all for personal use? Or was he collecting blackmail? That's what I'm looking for. If there's no blackmail, then why did he cultivate such powerful friends? And why are there so many names in his orbit like Clinton, Trump, Prince Andrew, untouched by these charges? I mean, there's more. I shouldn't just point it to Bill Gates. There's a laundry list of people. Ghislaine Maxwell's 2022 conviction proved trafficking happened. It proved it. She was found guilty. But the DOJ says there's no one else to pursue. Really, it's done. It's open and shut. It was just these two. It was for their own personal gain. The missing files are a huge issue, and I'm gonna back up real quick. When Epstein was arrested in 2019, and they raided his island and his apartment in New York, his mansion in Florida, all of which had surveillance videos, all of it. Where are those tapes? I mean, granted, if they showed us tapes of these properties and it shows Clinton or Trump or Andrew or whoever, that, I guess, technically doesn't mean that they were involved in nefarious acts, but it does place them in these places with Epstein during certain specific times. And if those times correspond with victims' testimony, then there is a there. This whole there's no there aspect, there's nothing to see here, is bullshit. The missing files are a huge issue. Bondi claimed in February that the FBI had tens of thousands of videos, some involving child pornography. Where are they? And just yesterday, they did a press conference, and that was another issue. And I think I actually have that, so let me see if I can find it real quick, guys. I'm sorry to do this to you, but, I'm very prepared. I don't play a lot of videos anymore, you know this, but these are good ones.
You're still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things.
We have diversions.
And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe.
So I don't have the clip I was looking for, and I'm not going to look for it. But she later yesterday said that these tens of thousands of videos were just child pornography. Now, I'm not trying to dismiss child pornography, but back in February, it was tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children and child pornography. Now, it's just child pornography. Like I said, I'm not dismissing child pornography. That's nasty. It's horrible. I can't even imagine. But my point being is, either she didn't know what the fuck she was talking about back in February, or she's recanted because of something else that's going on here. And we'll get to that here in a minute because I have ideas in my head. But where are those? Where's all this evidence now? The DOJ says no more files will be released. This contradicts Trump's campaign promise of transparency. He himself, while running for president, said, we will get down to the bottom of this. And the bottom of this is, there's nothing to see here. There's no there. There's 10,000 there's. There's over 250 victims there. There's Ghislaine Maxwell in prison for trafficking there. There's a lot of there's there. For you to say there's no there, there's plenty of there's there. If that wasn't too confusing. I know I sound like a damn Dr. Seuss thing, but you understand what I'm saying, guys, right? Freedom of info requests are being denied. Lawsuits are being stalled. What's in the files? Names, videos, or evidence that could exonerate someone or everyone. The secrecy breeds distrust. And let's talk about the intelligence angle again. Post on Twitter, like one from at Sparta Justice, claim Epstein was a Mossad and or a CIA asset, blackmailing elites to control policy. Others, like Benny Johnson, suggest he worked for a foreign state to fuel wars. These are unverified, but the idea isn't crazy. Blackmail is a classic intelligent tactic. Epstein's wealth, his access, his light legal consequences, they fit the profile of someone protected. If true, his death could be a cleanup job. But without documents, it's just a theory. Now, I'm going to paint a picture for you guys real quick. August 9th, 2019. Epstein's led away from his cell to speak with his attorney, or so we're told. Obviously, there's no video of that because attorney-client privilege. But what if? Let's go with the aspect that he did kill himself. Now, I'm not saying this because I'm co-opted and I'm being paid by anybody to say this. I'm just trying to draw you a picture, paint you a picture. We're doing something here. Just work with me here for a second. On this show, we've talked plenty of times about MK Ultra type tactics done by the CIA. Okay, now, I believe MK Ultra has been amplified 100 times. It's not just dosing you with LSD and stuff like that. I think there's other ways to do this. Mind control. Not necessarily by chemical, but by other means. What if that attorney wasn't his attorney? What if this person was a CIA person who convinced Epstein to kill himself? It's just something I thought about while I'm talking, because that's how my brain works. Thank you. You're welcome. And theoretically, he did kill himself, but by hypnotic suggestion. That's a new conspiracy theory that I really haven't heard anyone say. You've heard it here first. You're welcome. But also, I would like to see, we saw the 10 hours before. What about the 10 hours after? Where's that minute? Instead, we get an excuse saying, oh, that's because the tapes, we've been using them since 1999 because, we're too poor to fucking buy a new VHS tape. Anyway. Cultural impact is undeniable. Epstein didn't kill himself is more than a meme. It's a symbol of distrust. Polls show most Americans believe there's more to his death. The DOJ's memo meant to restore faith has backfired. It's not just conservatives, but progressives too. They want answers. We all want answers about Clinton's role, about why elites skate free. This isn't a left versus right. It's people versus power. something I talk about very often on this show is how they want to do that. How they want to constantly keep us in division. It's not about right or left. They just want us to be divided somehow or another. And I say this because if we were all to come together, if we were to forget about right versus left, Trump versus Obama or whoever, MAGA versus Antifa, those types of things, if we would forget about that and both sides open your eyes to what is actually happening here and come together, things would get very interesting in this country. I'm telling you they would. And I started thinking about this. So Trump's DOJ arrested Epstein in 2019. Trump was president when that happened. Trump was president when he got killed or committed suicide, whatever. I thought about this. And then Biden became president, and the questions arose, well, if Trump was really in these files, why wouldn't his DOJ release this stuff? Because they're all on it. I'm not saying that Trump's on it. I'm not saying that Biden's on it. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm saying that the powerful elites on both sides are involved in this. The Trump administration doesn't want to release anything to expose the left and the left Biden's administration didn't want to release anything to expose the right because it would have exposed everybody. And when I say everybody, I'm not just talking about American businessmen or politicians or powerful elites within this country. We're talking about world leaders here. We're talking about other countries involved. Mainly Israel. Mainly Ehud Barak and Benjamin Netanyahu, who, oh, by the way, were personal friends of Jeffrey Epstein, because this dude who just happened to be whatever and was rich for somehow, because we still don't know how that happened, was friends with world leaders, because that just happens. He was friends with princes and billionaire businessmen who later became presidents. He was friends with foreign leaders, because that's natural. And it's not like they were acquaintances. It's not like they were like, oh, I want to do business in your country. Okay, let's have a talk, blah, 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 blah. Because you could say the same about Musk. Maybe he's had talks with these people. But it's not about personal things. It's about business. This was not business. This was personal. But he's friends with these people. So what about the victims? And they're often lost in the noise. Like I said, we did a show 2 or 3 months ago about Virginia Giuffre, Jane Doe's countless others. They deserve justice, not memos. Their stories point to a network, not a lone wolf. Yet the DOJ's focus is on closing the case, not reopening it. Why? Are they protecting someone? Or is it just easier to move on? The Musk-Trump feud adds intrigue. Musk's deleted tweet about Trump being in the files was a shot across the bow. Trump's response, old news, was cagey. Their falling out tied to Musk's punishment for government efficiency makes you wonder, did Musk know something? Or was he leveraging the Epstein narrative for clout? Either way, his influence keeps the story alive. So, as we approach our final break, let me go over here, start the music, go back here. Consider this. If the DOJ wanted to end speculation, why not release everything? Unredact the files, show the videos, name the names. Instead, they're giving us a memo and a gap-filled tape. What are they afraid of? We'll wrap this up after the break. All right, guys, unleash your focus with W Energy, okay? Power up your gaming, your podcasting, your daily grind with our sugar-free, jitter-free energy drinks, packed with natural ingredients like Neurofactor for laser-sharp concentration, which I'm overstimulated right now. With over 10 unique flavors, there's a W for every taste bud. Use promo code DTOM at checkout on W.GG. Score 10% off your order. Be better with W. Grab yours now. W Energy. Be better. Let's roll. Come on. Link is at the bottom of the podcast app in which you're listening to the song, guys, in case that's confusing. W.GG, I get it. It's confusing. This is an American company, born and bred in California. Check them out. New company. Let's do this. Come on. W Energy. Let's rock. Come on. I probably took too much of that, actually. Plus, I went to the gym. It's everything that's happened today has been a build-up to this moment right here. We're in the home stretch of the Don't Tread on America podcast. And after, what have we been going about an hour or so? We've barely scratched the surface of the Epstein conspiracy. The July 2025 DOJ release, a memo and surveillance video, was meant to put the case to bed. Instead, it's a lightning rod. So let's tie it together and look ahead. The memo says Epstein killed himself, had no client list, and didn't blackmail anyone. So why in the fuck was he in prison? Why is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison? If none of these things happen, why in the fuck are they in jail? The footage, with its 1-minute gap, is supposed to prove no foul play. But the contradictions, Bondi's earlier promises, the secrecy, the lack of arrest make it hard to buy. The public's reaction from Musk's memes and Jones' rants shows a deep distrust. People aren't just skeptical, they're angry, including this person, shockingly enough. So, what's the truth? We may never know. We're just going to do shows like this until something happens. Suicide is plausible. Epstein faced life in prison, a fall from grace. But the lapse in security with broken bones, the missing minute, they nag at you. Murder? Possible, but who? A powerful client? A government? The intelligence angle? Mossad? CIA? Fits his profile but lacks hard proof. And if he's alive, as some claim, where's the evidence? Obviously, it's all speculation, but it's fueled by the DOJ's opacity. And here's the thing. If we're to believe that Epstein killed himself because he was facing years and years in prison, right? He faced life in prison. And that's the excuse we're being told that as to why he killed himself. If there's no there, as we're being told, why would he be facing life in prison? For child pornography? I'm not dismissing child pornography. I think you should get your dick cut off and, whatever. Especially if you filmed it or were involved in it. But in all honesty, the penalty for child pornography isn't that harsh. It isn't life in prison. Even if he was involved in making this stuff, it still wouldn't be life in prison. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. So if there's no there, and there's no trafficking, and there's no victims, why would he be facing life in prison and thus killing himself? That's the problem here. You can't sit here and say that there's no there, there's no client list, there's no victims when we know there's victims because we know their names. A couple of them anyway. Why would he be facing life in prison to kill himself? Interesting. The bigger issue is accountability. Epstein's victims deserve justice. But the focus is closing the case, not solving it. No major figures have been charged. Maxwell's in prison, but for what? The DOJ's refusal to release more files suggests they're hiding something or protecting someone. Trump's base feels betrayed, expecting revelations. Progressives, the left, they want answers too. This is a rare issue uniting opposites. But interestingly enough, it's not the left elites. It's not the Schumers and the Pelosi's and the Bidens and the Kamalas. It's not those people. It's people like us. It's the anti Don't Tread on America podcast, whatever that may be called. Those individuals are also doing the same thing that we're doing. And they're not just using it on the Trump angle that, oh, he's got to be in the tapes. Because if the left elites, the deep state left, whatever you want to call these people, if they thought or knew that Trump was in these tapes and nobody else was in them, they would be screaming for these things to be released too. But you know who's quiet about this? Those people. You don't see AOC and the usual victim names on Twitter yelling for this stuff to be released. Interestingly enough, of all the things that these guys constantly do, right versus left, this is the one issue where everyone's being quiet. There's no there, so they just shut up. Makes you wonder, right? So what's next? The pressure won't stop. Social media, especially on the Twitter machine there, keeps the story alive. This show will keep the story alive. There's other shows that will keep this story alive. As a matter of fact, if you don't listen to them, you should. But Tucker Carlson did a show the other day. Shockingly enough, campaign for Trump is calling bullshit on all this. Now, his show, I listened to it. He started out by saying, I owe Epstein an apology. Apparently, he went to jail for nothing. Of course, he was being 100% sarcastic. It's a very good show. You should listen to it when you're done with this show. But there are popular podcasts that are Benny Johnson. I haven't seen Sam Tripoli post anything or put up a new show, but I guarantee you he will. Liberty Lockdown, those guys, same thing. Some of these people are people that were at least Trump fans. And they're on the same board as me. I haven't actually listened to the Liberty Lockdown shows, but I could tell by the titles of the show. But then there's shows like the X-22 Report, which I stopped listening to about 5 years ago because I can't stand the hold the line, Patriots, everything's going to be fine. This is a plan. This is a way for them to do this and convince people to do that. And I'm going to say something on that in a second here. Let me finish reading what I got here. Lawsuits and FOIA requests will continue, though the DOJ stonewalling doesn't bode well. Maybe a whistleblower will appear. Or maybe this is it, a memo, a tape, and a shrug. My take. The truth is probably messier than any theory. Epstein was a predator, enabled by wealth and connections. Whether he killed himself or was killed, the system failed. His victims, the public, everyone. The DOJ's release feels like an attempt to move on. But it's too late. The Epstein saga is a wound that will not heal until every secret is exposed. And here's the thing. And this is where we're going to end the show. Talk to you later. Bye. No. I'm working on a show for Friday. And we're going to dig into this a little bit deeper on the CIA Mossad angle of this. When I hear news media people on Fox and other channels, when I hear the left and the right saying the same things, good and bad, you hear people on the left and the right saying this is bullshit, there's more to this. But you also hear people on the left and the right, whether it's people like you and I, people that do podcasts, people that are on Twitter, or people that are in the news media. On both sides, you have people saying this is bullshit. But you have people saying, no, like Shapiro said. Unless you got evidence.
Unless you got evidence, you got to prove it. There's nothing there. I trust Dan Bongino and Cash Patel. They wouldn't lie to me. Look.
As he's wearing his yarmulke. Which, by the way, brings me to the conclusion of this show. It's coincidence that this happened the day before Benjamin Netanyahu shows up. Now, if you look at people like X22 report, he's insinuating, I didn't listen to his shows, I'm not giving him the download. I know it's just one, but whatever. That this was a hold. Hold the line, Patriots. We're ending it here so we can make believe that the story is over. But really, they're using this to hold leverage over these countries to get them to do what we want them to do. Chris used to be on the show, is on periodically, but, we talk all the time. His thought was this. Maybe, we had the big, beautiful bill passed last week, right? And prior to it passing, there was, 7 or 9 holdouts that were like, I don't know about this. His thought is that maybe this was used to get those people to vote for his bill. Not saying that those 9 individuals are necessarily implicated in this, but maybe, just maybe, conspiracy, right? We're talking out loud. Maybe some of their donors said, listen, you need to vote for this bill. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'll give you $1 million to your campaign for next election season. It happens, guys. I'm not thinking that these things are outlandish. That stuff happens. Vote this way and we'll donate to your campaign. That shit happens. That's not me being a conspiracy theory guy. That's truth. So you can't help but wonder if that was the case. Trump puts in a call to donor X. Donor X puts in a call to Congressman so-and-so. Yada, yada, yada. Right? And to say that that's a reason why this memo came out, or if that's a reason why, okay, Netanyahu, who Barack, we know you guys are involved in this. We know, we see it. So here's the deal. Unless you want this shit released, you're going to stop doing what you're doing in the Middle East. You're going to stop bombing the Palestinians. You're going to stop bombing Iran. We're going to get a peace deal done, and you're going to shut your fucking mouth. And on top of that, Netanyahu, we're going to need you to be the second on Trump's push to get the Nobel Peace Prize. Coincidentally, this all has happened within a week's time, guys. Look at the time frame. Within a week, this all has happened. And instead, you watch the news today, and the Epstein stuff's getting pushed back further and further and further. And what's happening now? Oh, Russia. Russia's acting up in Ukraine again. Let's give some weapons and some money to Ukraine. Huh. Distraction, guys. It's key. Every time something happens like this, they distract you. Think about it. So, what I'm going to dive into, hopefully, by Friday. If I don't do it by Friday, it'll be Sunday, but I think I can get it done. We're going to figure out what's going on here. So, what I need you guys to do is this. If you stumbled upon this show because you thought it would be good, I hope I didn't disappoint you. I need you to make sure you subscribe to whatever podcast app you're listening to this on. We're available everywhere. Make sure you share this with your friends. Don't Tread on America. Available on every single podcast platform that is out there. Every one. We're even on Pandora now. Okay? There's no excuse for not everybody to be listening to this. And if you want to see the antics that goes on in the DTOM studios, subscribe to the Rumble channel. Don't Tread on America TV. Now, I know you could be saying, Don, why are you on Rumble if you hate Dan Bongino so much? Okay, I got you. Here's the thing. I can't get on here and act the way I do on YouTube. I've tried it before. It doesn't work. Why am I going to waste my time uploading shit to... I'll tell you what. Here we go. I'm going to upload this video to Rumble and YouTube. We'll see what happens on YouTube. Okay? How does that sound? If I get striked again, then you'll see where we'll go with this. Anyway, so what do you guys think? Is the DOJ covering up? Was Epstein silenced? I'm asking you all a question. Hello, is this thing on? Actually, I'm just trying to get to my music real quick. hit me up, guys. Find me on the Twitter X machine, at DonQ1776, or email me, DonQ@Don'tTreadAmerica.com. Share your theories, your rage, your evidence. This story is far from over, guys. So thank you for sticking with me through this marathon. If you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe, leave a review, and tune in on Friday to see what we talk about next for another unraveling mystery of this saga. This is not over with, guys. Not here, anyway. So in the meantime, guys, stay curious. Stay vigilant. I, of course, am Don Q. And this is Don't Tread on America, guys. I hope you enjoyed this show. And please, come back for more, because I'm not going to stop. Okay? I'm not co-opted. I'm not one of those podcasts. We're going to keep talking about this until someone knocks on my door and puts a bullet in my head. Because I don't care. It is what it is. There is a there. We're going to find it. All right? You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you Friday. Please be safe. Have a great day. And we'll see you later. Peace.